Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. For those tuning in on the simulcast on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X, we got you all can be with us. Going to bring in our friends over on IG. And last but certainly not least, going to connect with our friends over on Amazon Live. Have a returning guest that's joining us today once again. Just a lot of exciting things that are happening this month. We're excited to catch up with her, tell you guys all about it, including a brand new book she's releasing this month. And we're now live on the Amazon Live platform with Cyrus Webb Presents. Gonna type you guys in a welcome message over there. If you guys are new to us on Amazon, welcome. Make sure you guys do hit that follow button, either here in this corner or down below. We appreciate all the new followers. It really means a lot. You also will see the books by our next guest. Dr. Teresa A. Smith, aka Dr. TAS, is back with us today. You know her as an Amazon bestselling author. She's a motivational speaker. She's also a media personality herself. She has several shows that she hosts. We're going to talk to her about a very busy February that includes her book. I'm going to highlight for you guys now. You've seen her probably on social media talking about her new ebook, Edit Like a Pro, because she's also an editor as well. I'm going to talk to her about what it's been like for her to share the different facets of herself, but also, of course, what else she's looking forward to this month. Taz, welcome back to the broadcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Cyrus.
Look, the resume gets longer and longer every time we talk. we
It
I
does.
mean, I didn't even mention you cook. You do. I
No.
have my cookbook here too. So, Toss, I wanted to start this conversation. I actually am changing up what I initially was planning on framing this conversation because I thought about something today, and that's why I strategically have your first book, Stronger, here. Because we have all heard that saying, Toz. If you haven't, you guys keep living. You'll hear it. That I don't look like what I've been through, right? I'm curious, Taz, when we first met you in Stronger, you were sharing what you've gone through with the pain. How does it feel now to be walking in your purpose?
Well, again, Cyrus, thank you for having me. And when we reflect back to that Stronger, the first edition was released in 2017. And oh my gosh, that's almost 10 years now. So
Mhm.
when we talk about, walking and not looking like the pain that I've gone through, um, I can say nothing but, we all must go through our Damascus Road experience, is the way I usually phrase it. And when Saul became Paul, he no longer looked like that other person. And it didn't mean everything was okay because you
Mhm.
still have hiccups along the way, which we know. I'm
Yeah.
very transparent about my hiccups, trying
Mhm.
to be superwoman. I'm just a human being. But
Mhm.
to look at the growth and where I come from, I am humbled. For me, as a person of faith, it lets me know that there truly is a God. And I hope that my journey is an inspiration for someone who thinks that they cannot overcome whatever it is, whatever trauma has them bound, that they can't overcome it.
Yeah, I love that. And I thought about it because, you do talk about different facets of your pain and your life in Stronger. But since then you've been able to do other things. As I mentioned, I don't think without this book and the story in it, Ties, you would be a motivational speaker. You would be a media personality. You would be able to do all the things because you would not have felt worthy of it. How
Mhm.
does it feel to know not only that you are worthy, but that your platform is allowing you to share with other people their own value and worth?
Cyrus, you know, my credentials are behind me on the wall, guys. You can't really see them. Well, you can over here. We got multiple things going on with Cyrus Webb because he's on all these different platforms. So I got all these different views, but those are credentials. Stronger qualified me.
Mm,
And I say that because when you have lived experiences that continue to force you to evolve in order to find your footing in life, that's something that education can't do. I've got the
yeah.
education, but it's
Mhm.
those lived experiences. And I want other folks to know that the experiences are there for a reason. Don't
Yeah.
discount them. Embrace them fully and understand what you're supposed to get from them. Let them then become your next footing that takes you from this place to that place. And I think when you can reframe it that way, Cyrus, it
Mhm.
empowers the person. Because if
Yeah.
I didn't have Stronger and all the things that I've dealt with and continue to deal with, No, I would not be a motivational speaker. No, I would not have the shows that I have because I really wouldn't think that I am good enough. But Stronger
Yeah.
taught me that I was good enough. We often say this to stars that if you're still living, there's something that God still wants you to do. He
Yeah.
brought me through that so that I could continue to live and to do his bidding. I believe the motivational speaker, and I think the shows, because everything really is the same message that
Mhm.
transformation is possible. But as you and I know, it's a lot of work. It don't happen overnight. And there are some times that you fall backwards when you're trying to go forward.
So true. Let me give some shout outs here. Hello to you from Mississippi, Deborah Hunter. Deborah says it's incredible how pain can produce greatness when we are allow ourselves to heal in love. That's so true. Coach to Kenya K, hello to you over there on Facebook as well. Mississippi's representing over there on Facebook. Over on IG, hello to you, Nicole Baskin PR. Good to be to see you. Original Poetry. Oh, I love that name. Original Poetry, spelled like tree, TREE. And then I think it's pronounced Kiwi Z in Motion. Hello to you over there on IG as well. Glad you could be with us. So this brings up me shouting them out, Taz. I want to talk about talking to the young Taz for a second. Could you have imagined that Taz would have an audience around the world, would have several Amazon bestsellers, would be creating a platform where not only are you able to showcase your own skills, but also now with your new book, Edit Like a Pro, can help other people be able to put their best self forward.
No, and I think it's our friend Melissa that always said God can, which we've heard it before, that God can dream bigger than you. Because
Mhm.
no, as I've often said, I told Mama since I was a little girl, Miss Gloria, I said, I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna write a book. And I really thought Stronger was that book because I wanted to write about self-esteem. That was the language that I used when I was a little girl because I was always fascinated by how some people were able to overcome different things, but I didn't have the vernacular then. But what I know now is I was trying to figure out how I was navigating trauma and how
Mm.
I was seeming to be navigating it fairly well, but then other people were not. I didn't have the vernacular then. So when
Yeah.
you say to me now, I've gone from that one little book to the Amazon bestsellers, to the multiple shows, to bringing people on my platform, sharing their story with a global audience. No, that little young Taz, which could have been 10 years ago,
Mhm.
no, it's what I could have conceived, but I'm so gracious and appreciative that God trusts me with it because
Yeah.
that speaks volumes.
So true. My cousin's joining us on Facebook too. Hey, Shundlin, good to see you over there on Facebook. And Daniela Music, hello to you. It's All Happening Films, hello to you as well. Thank you so much for being with us over there on IG as well. So, Taz, let's talk about what you've done leading up to this year because we're going to get into the new book, Edit Like a Pro, which has its own niche. And this is what's so interesting I thought about with you because, and this is one reason why I'm so glad you have been willing to diversify, realize that you didn't have to put all your eggs in one basket, that you didn't just have to be confined to, to telling this one story, but you've been able to reach different audiences. I mentioned I have your cookbook here as well, Transform with Todd's Healthy Recipes. For our audience out there, she also, I don't have it here, but she also has her book on juicing as well. I'm going to highlight this one though in our carousel here. Todd, talk to us about that. What has that been like for you to have these different interests and to know that there's an audience out there that you can share them with?
I'm going to be Teresa. Years ago, Teresa was trying to figure out what she wanted to do. And I'm still playing that little game. But I had gone for some career counseling over at UNC. And basically, the career coach said to me, you're good at a lot of stuff. Because we couldn't narrow it down.
Mhm.
And so it sort of been an Achilles heel, Cyrus. But when you talk about it from the space that I sit in now, which is his divine plan, it makes sense
Yeah.
because basically I'm telling my story with Stronger, but the books that follow Stronger transformation series, and I do it in different ways. that's still empowering people, because I know the importance of having someone coach you and say you can do it.
Yeah.
Somebody in your corner that's saying that, even with my TAS moments and my other inspirational things that I do, that's me trying to help someone else understand they're not by themselves. But at the same time, because as the coach said, you're good at a lot of stuff. I love to cook. I love to cook. My mother has been a caterer and I had to help mama. So for me, when I'm cooking live or I'm creating my cookbooks, it's another expression of who I am. And I get to activate that creative mode in a different way, because
Mhm.
I try to tell a story, particularly like in the first one. I'm telling a story how I come up with these particular recipes. And the Sip to Heal, it was different, because
Mhm.
that one is all about smoothies and helping people who may have had metabolic surgery like me, or who have TMJ, or who have head and neck cancer. I think I said it correctly. How
Mhm.
people who have problems with their teeth, how they can still have an enjoyable life because they're going through a transformation. So to me, it's like God has taken this theme that's my life, and he's used it in so many different ways, and I'm just always amazed when he does something different.
Love that. And it's something too that people can benefit from. I want to reset real quick, Taz, and say for those who are just tuning in, welcome. You're watching Cyrus Webb Presents here on Amazon Live, but we're simulcasting across social media live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and on IG. Our guest is Dr. Teresa A. Smith, aka Dr. Taz. Hey, Leon Pitts. Good to be to see you over there on IG. We're talking with her about a big start to her year. She has a brand new book out. We haven't even got to talking about it yet, called Edit Like a Pro, because it is for a niche audience. But I want to talk about her larger story that I think is more universal, and how she's gotten to where she is today. Before we get into the new book, Taz, before that, you released this book with your sisters. You've kind of made this a family affair. You mentioned your mom. You have a segment that you do with your mom for your show as well. You have this book, A Real Talk with Taz and Angelia, two sisters, two perspectives on love, life, and everything in between. I want to talk about chapter 12 for a second before we get into the new book, and that is Good Morning Gorgeous. Of course, I love that Mary J. Blige song as well. But this chapter, you begin by saying this: we all have those days when we're doing our best to hold it together, show up, and stay grounded. But inside, we're wondering, do I even see myself anymore? Talk to us about Ty's answering that question, because as you mentioned,
Mhm.
you do have some tendencies at times. I'm trying to think of the polite Southern way to say it. You have those tendencies at times where you do seem to forget that you are made of flesh and blood, and that the body is made to rest and
Mhm.
to take care of itself. Uh, how does that feel to write these words to others, but also to remind yourself of it as well, Taz?
Cyrus, I used to say, uh, guys, go back and, as TD Jakes would say, go back and listen to the old. I used to say every time I wrote a book, uh,
Hmm.
I start living it.
Hmm.
Well, the difference with this one was I was living it before I finalized it. And as you
Okay.
know, I had to step away for about 3 to 4 months last year because I didn't see myself anymore. I didn't know who I was, to just be honest. I was
Hmm.
just out there.
Yeah.
And we had to pull me back. And I have a great team that works with me to keep me regulated.
Mm.
Um, so when I was finalizing this book, it was like, yeah, it was, it was, it was like I was manifesting all that I was going through, but I didn't know it. So then to see it in writing, it was like a wake up call. It's
Wow.
like you were on autopilot, but there was still something that had me connected to the source
Mhm.
that kept me from going off the and
Yeah.
cliff rather. And so for me to see it in writing and to be very transparent with folks about it,
Mhm.
I hope they understand that you can be close, but you can turn around and go
Yeah.
back. And
Yeah.
that's what my life has always been about, it appears. The living manifestation of headed in the right direction, and then got to go back and get another lesson and then get back on course. And I think that's the human, that's what reality is all about. And I say that, Sarge, because I want the audience to understand it's okay, because
Yeah.
In my real life offline, I call him the Black Jesus. We're not the Black Jesus, you see. So
Mhm.
we are not going to get it right all the time. And if you
Yeah.
hold yourself, and I've been there, to unrealistic expectations, you're going to go down with the ship.
Yeah.
And you don't need to do that because we're human beings. We make mistakes. We make the best decision given the information we have at that time. And we have
Yeah.
to give ourselves grace. So for
Yeah.
me at this point, give myself grace because I could have gone off the cliff and not
Yeah.
be sitting here now.
So true. And I think that's a great reminder for all of us. Now, I would add an asterisk because I've
Mhm.
heard people say that before, Taz. I I would hope people would make a different decision or a better decision based on the information. But sometimes the information can be right in front of them and they still choose to go, to go another path. I'm just saying, I love that you're giving people the benefit of the doubt. But unfortunately, there are some people we look at and think, okay, did you not see, you know, what was right there in front of you? And I think for some people, it takes that, unfortunately. Look at Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah.
It takes literally getting down to the bottom to realize, okay,
Yeah.
I'm not who I thought I was. You know, hello to you over there, Chris Murphy. Good to see you over there on IG. And that leads us into what you've done here, Taz. And then this is going to lead us perfectly into the new book. Because I think what you've done too is as you shared your story and you've done it in these different books, even with the cookbook, this is a part of your story because you live differently, you eat differently, and you're able now to help people see how they can still have fun with food and it be enjoyable, but also be healthier as well. When you hear from people, as I know you do, who watch your shows, who read your books, who appreciate those Taz moments, how does that make you feel about where you are today, knowing that you are touching lives?
Cyrus, it lets me know I'm exactly where I need to be. I don't have it all figured out, guys, but I'm able to share bits and pieces of my life with others to help them along their journey. Because when I go back and listen to them, sometimes, Cyrus, the Taz moments or whatever, it's like, oh, yeah, I needed that. And then I think, well, you're writing out of the need. But
Yeah.
when I'm doing it, I'm not conscious that's what I'm doing, that I'm
Mhm.
writing out of the need. And so when other people affirm what I've shared, I'm like, okay, I would say to myself, okay, Teresa, you tuned into the Father and He's
Mhm.
allowing you to speak for Him, and you blessing yourself and you're blessing other people also. So that's a humbling experience to be a person who is allowed to speak for Him.
Yeah, I love that. And so that leads us to what you've been able to do now for others that are writers and writers in different ways. So, that's why I said this book is more niche because for everyone is not a writer.
Mhm.
They don't write papers, they don't write books. But for those who do, here you are now an authority in this way because I mean I have just some of the books that are here that you've been able to write, Taj. Outside of course, what you have available on Amazon and Kindle. Why did you decide now was the time? And I'm going to highlight the new book, Edit Like a Pro. Why did you decide now was the time to be able to let people know how they can be able to put their best self forward in a book?
Cyrus, this is going to sound a little wonky, but I'm going to try to not let it sound wonky.
Okay.
You laid out a great foundation of who I am. And I said that I wanted to write a book my whole life. Ever since I was a little girl, I said that to mama. And all of my work is about transformation. And the written word is very powerful. And when we edit properly, we take our work through a transformation. And for
Mhm.
me, as a person who understands the importance of how we speak, how we show up, because we're judged multiple ways, but when you present a document, people judge you based upon how you write. So
Mhm.
for me, having my lived experiences, it was just like it's niche, but it was like the next evolution for a niche audience
Yeah.
because I understand how important it is for your writing to show up and represent you. And
Yeah.
it's funny, I finalized the book, everything's read is on, Amazon. And when I'm doing my professor role, I find myself looking at things with this lens. I always did, but now it's more pronounced. And I've been trying to figure out now, how do you give them this information and it not sound like it's coming from your book? But my students, they understand what they're saying in their head, but it doesn't show on the paper. And
Yeah.
as an instructor, I can only grade what's on the paper,
Yeah.
not what I think you were saying. So think of it, guys, also for folks who say, well, do I really need this? And this is going to be old school. Years ago, they told us we need a business card. That business card said who we were. It was an announcement about who we were.
Hmm.
Well, now we have flyers, we have digital business cards. It's still written text, some, but it announces who you are. And that's the reason why Edit Like a Pro is so important because it announces the person. And
Yeah.
you want the world to see you in your best light. And if I can help someone in that way, then I know that I'm doing what I should be doing. And then it lines up, even though it's niche, it still lines up with the work that I do around transformation and becoming stronger.
Yeah, I love that. Hello to you, author. I think it's pronounced Angel Ayers, maybe, or it may be Angela Years, maybe. I apologize about that if I got it wrong. But as you were talking to us, I thought about something else that makes this book, even though it is niche,
Mhm.
also everyone watching it should see the point I'm about to make. We all write captions on social media.
Yes,
We all have bios that we put
yes,
out there on these platforms. So
yes.
you do wanna make sure even in that you're putting your best self forward.
Mhm.
And so I think, whether people may think, "Well, I'm not a writer, I'm not an author." Really, these days we all are
Yeah.
in some form or fashion, unless you have someone doing your social media for you and
Mhm.
writing captions and so I think, that brings another layer to this. How does it feel though, Casas, this is the first book you've written that really does take on that professor like title. How does that feel to have this book be out there and you being able to slip into that skin?
It's scary, Cyrus. And I say that, guys, because when you see me, you don't see that side of me. You see Taz, the personality. But
Mhm.
to now merge the two, it's scary because it's a new frontier for me, even
Yeah.
though it's always been there. And so I say to those who are listening, don't be afraid because I'm jumping out there because I have something to share that's going to support someone. And to
Mhm.
me, if you're going to do something and do it scared, do something that's going to benefit someone else. So I'm
Yeah.
out here to help others.
Love that. And so if the book is available for pre-order now, officially comes out February the 10th. Is that right,
Yes.
Toss? But they can go ahead and pre-order it now on Amazon. I'm going to highlight it again for you guys on the Amazon side. If you guys are joining us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, there's a link that will bring you over to Taz's author page on Amazon. You can be able to see the book there too and pre-order it and also get some of the other books that we have here. So Taz, outside of Edit Like a Pro, I know you also, as I mentioned, you have your own show, Talk with Taz. You have your show, Real Talk with Taz and Angelia with your sister. What else should we be on the lookout for this month?
Well, this month, Cyrus, Real Talk with Tarzan and Jaya. We are getting our footing at season 3. So we have some surprises coming along. Also, I'll continue releasing my Talk with Taz episodes, which are on Thursdays at 6 o'clock on IG. So I'm sitting down with individuals talking about how they can help others. My show that's coming up in a week or so is going to be about LinkedIn. I'm putting that
Mm,
plug out there because folks are trying to navigate LinkedIn. I think it kind of ties into the niche market that we're
mhm.
talking about because
Yeah,
people are looking for jobs. So again, I'm trying to be as responsive and attuned to my audience as I can be so that I can bring programming that's going to support their growth. So again, Real Talk with Taz and Angelia, um, the 2 books, because we have our book out as you mentioned, and then of course Edit Like a Pro, and then my Talk with Taz interview shows. And new episodes will be dropping each Thursday in February.
love that. A lot of great things happening, Taz. Always great catching up with you. Again, everyone, Dr. Teresa A. Smith, aka Dr. Taz, is back with us again, talking with us not only about the amazing journey she's been on that led us to where she is this month, where she's celebrating the release of her newest book, again, Edit Like a Pro. But Taz, let our audience know, how can they stay connected with you and keep up with everything?
Well, the simplest thing to do is to follow me on IG, Dr. Teresa Smith, and go to my Linktree bio. It connects you to everything, and you can find me on my YouTube channel. And for those who need a little inspiration, you go to my YouTube channel, and you can listen to my TAS moments there if you don't see them on the social media channels.
Love that. Well, Taz, congratulations to you again. Looking forward to our next chat together.
Thank you so much, Cyrus, for having me.
Glad to do it. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, I'm Cyrus Webb saying thank you so much for being with us. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.